Hello and welcome to the Scatterable channel, and today I like to show you Raptor, the ultimate $600 gaming PC that can literally play any PC game. Like, seriously, check out this gameplay. Raptor is your next $600 gaming PC designed for unlimited 1080p gaming. If you've seen my other budget gaming PC builds, those being Volt version 2, Tron, and Electrobyte, I'm here to tell you that the performance jump from going from one of those basic gaming computers to this new $600 system is insane. You should have no worries whatsoever if you're interested in running and streaming big PC titles like Fortnite, PUBG, or even the upcoming Battlefield 5 all flawlessly at 60 frames per second at graphics settings that look just as good as your favorite YouTubers and Twitch streamers who play them. I'm gonna do you guys a solid and provide to you guys a legend of this video where you can check out specific parts of this gaming PC build guide video, such as the parts that I chose, the overall review of this PC through pros and cons, a mini build tutorial, and the expected gaming and streaming performance of this PC. By the way, heads up, any question you might have in the comment section for Raptor will probably be answered in this video, so be sure to watch to the very end. If you enjoy PC build guide videos like this, then consider subscribing to the Scatterable channel. We're uploading new exciting content every week, so make sure you don't miss them. So to do that, enable channel notifications, follow me on Twitter, or join the official Scatterable Discord server. A new school year is on the horizon, and I know many of you watching this video are soon bound to create new websites for your school projects, which is why I suggest using bookmark.com for your next website. Bookmark is a free website builder that can be used for anything, like an online e-commerce store for your YouTube or Twitch merchandise. It's also extremely quick and easy to use thanks to its online design assistant Ada, which after answering a few questions, Ada can instantly batch up a website catered to your needs. Overall, it's a really neat tool that takes so much hassle out what would be spending hours building a nice new website, but thankfully, Bookmark shortens that time to just under 20 minutes. To bring your next website to life, be sure to check out bookmark.com, linked at the top of the description. Before I begin, I want to give a huge shout out to Cougar, Team Group, GearBest, and my patrons who helped sponsor Raptor. For my patrons, thank you for your support. I let you guys vote on the parts of this build, as well as watch me build Raptor live. As usual, I'll be giving away Raptor to one of my lucky Patreon followers with the backside panel of Raptor signed with all my god tier Patreon supporters. Now, let's talk about the magic behind the computer, the parts list. But real quick, just to let all you guys know that the parts featured in Raptor can be purchased in the description below, and once we reach the final price, I'll be giving my own personal suggestions for what you could upgrade on Raptor if you say had an extra $50 or $100 to spend. I'm gonna throw a curveball on you guys and start with the graphics card first, because it's the reason why this system is so damn fast for $600. Here I have the colorful GTX 1050 Ti for $160. This is the cheapest brand new GTX 1050 Ti I found online on gearbest.com that's cheaper than what you can find on Newegg or Amazon, and that even includes free shipping. This is a Chinese-based graphics card, however, it won't be any different from any other 1050 Ti you might find from Asus, Gigabyte, MSI, etc. Plus, we can all agree that the box art for this card looks way cooler. Regardless, this 1050 Ti with 4GB of VRAM is going to be a killer value for this Raptor gaming PC. The graphics card, when overclocked, will become the 1080p 60 FPS gaming powerhouse we need to run games like Fortnite at ultra settings, PUBG at high settings, and more. Moving on to the processor, you patrons voted for me to use the Intel i3 8100 3.6 GHz processor for $118. Spoiler alert, this isn't your same old dual-core i3. This is a Coffee-Lake i3, which means it's now a big boy quad-core processor. That being said, for less than $150, you can get a solid Intel-based quad-core foundation that, paired with any discrete graphics card you want, say like the 1050 Ti, will provide you excellent processor performance to aid in gaming for years to come. However, note when the Ryzen 3 2300X comes out later this year, I would highly recommend using that processor over this quad-core i3 because there's a good chance it'll be faster for about the same price. Next, for the motherboard, I have the ASRock H103MG M.2 motherboard. Now I know what you're asking. Why didn't I go with a B360 board for just a few dollars more? The answer is because this H310MG by ASRock is the cheapest motherboard that I could find that has onboard RGB headers that allow you to control any RGB peripherals or strips you put in this computer. If you're not a fan of RGB, then I would advise getting a B360 series board, which I will have linked below in the description. However, this H313MG is still pretty neato for 65 bucks. If you're planning to use a wired connection with Raptor, then the H310M's onboard Intel LAN technology will give you steaming fast internet speeds with its hardware-based acceleration that'll luckily put minimal stress on your CPU for that extra internet performance. Also, this motherboard has a VRM heatsink with a controllable red LED behind it. That's something you won't find in any other cheap Intel motherboard. Moving on to the RAM, I have 8 GB of red Team Group Vulkan memory clocked at 2400 MHz, which can be bought off of Newegg for $80. A bonus to this RAM, aside from its great looks, is that it's low profile, meaning if you wanted to stick on a bigger, heavier CPU heatsink in the future, then luckily this RAM won't interfere with the CPU cooler. As for the storage, it's 2018 and the prices of SSDs are dropping dramatically, and I took a part of that trend with the new 250GB Team Group T-Force Delta SSD. This isn't the best value SSD you can get on the market, however, I chose this because it's the only SSD out there that sports RGB lighting that'll work in tangent with our motherboard's RGB header. If you're not into the whole RGB lighting thing, then I would take a look at Team Group's L5 Lite SSD, where the price per gigabyte is considerably less, but doesn't look as cool. Moving on to the power supply, I have the Cougar VTE 500. This 500 watt power supply sports an 80+ branch efficiency rating for 40 bucks, and so far I've had zero issues with it. This is 500 watts, so you will have no issues upgrading or using a more higher end graphics card like the 1060, 1070, or RX 580 that will eat up more power, since the base wattage of this system is only 205 watts. Finally, for the case, we have the beautiful Cougar Turret ATX Mid Tower. I really like this case because not only are you getting a complete affordable case package for $60, but it comes with those two orange halo fans pre-installed at the front of the case that look epic. The German-made Cougar Turret sports a high-quality metal frame that you'd find in more expensive cases, but for a much lesser price. You also find that cable management with the included branded power supply shroud is going to allow you to make Raptor a very clean-looking system, as cable management should be pretty easy. All of these parts added up come to a total price of $603 as of August 1st, 2018. If the price is higher, then that's probably due to all of you guys buying these parts and running them low in stock. Now then, what if your actual budget is flexible and you like to know what would be worth upgrading on the system, say if you had a little bit more cash to spend on than say your $600 price point. If you have more money to spend, say an extra 50 bucks, I would ditch the GTX 1050 Ti and go straight for a GTX 1060 3GB graphics card. All current 1000 series NVIDIA graphics cards are falling in price, and I have no doubt that you can easily snag a 1060 very soon for about $210. This is even more worth it when you compare benchmarks between the 4GB GTX 1050 Ti and 3GB GTX 1060, as you'll certainly see in gaming. The 1060 with its superior processing power completely blows away the 1050 Ti by as much as 30 FPS on average, despite having that 1 GB less of VRAM. If you have $100 more to spend, then I would keep the choice of upgrading to a GTX 1060, but onto that, either add a 1TB hard drive or upgrade the power supply to something with more wattage and a better efficiency, such as an 80+ gold efficiency, just to provide more sustainability with your new system. For all of you wanting to build this PC who like a tutorial, I'd suggest checking out my how to build a PC guide video I made near the beginning of this year. The system used in that tutorial is an AMD based system, however, the actual build process with putting all the parts together is identical. The only difference is going to be how you install the CPU and CPU cooler. Since Raptor is an Intel based system, all you have to do is flip up the middle bracket on the socket, line up the processor by its corner with a triangle on it to the corner of the socket with the same triangle, then close down the clamp on the socket using the lever. To install the CPU cooler, which by the way already has thermal paste pre-applied, you just have to line it up with the 4 holes near the socket of the motherboard, and then press down the 4 clamps into the motherboard. As a heads up, all of this can be found as well on the manual for the ASRock H310MG. Building the rest of Raptor from here on out should be the exact same as Electrobyte, the PC I built in the tutorial video. If you think you might have difficulty building in the Cougar turret since it is a different case, luckily, Cougar provides a helpful guide in their case manual for how to install certain things such as the SSD and the power supply using the correct screws given in the case. And finally, if you're one of those people who get anxious about the front I/O panel connectors for your USB ports, power and reset buttons, and front audio jacks, you can reference the motherboard manual in the H310MG, which will give you a very clear layout of the different places and pins on the motherboard that will let you locate and connect those crucial pins. Overall, building Raptor is very easy with little room to mess up, but one thing I want to make note of is that this case comes pre-installed with motherboard standoffs and an ATX layout. Therefore, in order to install the ASRock H310MG Micro ATX motherboard, I had to unscrew and move the standoffs to the Micro ATX layout so I can install the motherboard with all the holes screwed correctly into the case. Now let's move on to the benchmarks. If you'd like to replicate the results you will soon see on screen, then apply this overclock to the GTX 1050 Ti through MSI Afterburner. However, I don't expect you guys to achieve the same crazy plus 266 MHz and plus 1000 MHz overclock I got, because that's pretty extreme. So I suggest the overclock settings that you should go with your GTX 1050 Ti be lesser, say with a 1000 MHz boost and a 150 MHz core boost. Anyways, enough talk, let's get into the benchmarks.
I'd like to share with you guys a very special moment I had while I was benchmarking PUBG on Raptor. Now I just want to let you guys know that I believe Raptor runs this game beautifully well, especially for 600 bucks, which while I was benchmarking this game, gained me a lot of confidence, which you'll soon see in a little bit, because something very rare happens. Raptor can run this game beautifully and can allow me to do once-in-a-lifetime things like this right here. Maybe not that. Maybe not that. That was pretty bad because I suck at the game. But check this out. Check this out. A $600 computer will let you do exactly that. Get a kill in PUBG, which by the way, I believe was my second ever recorded kill in PUBG. But you know, I thought it was something really special to share, and that Raptor can run this game pretty well. Alright, I'd like to show you guys another special moment here now in Fortnite. And I don't know if you guys know about my history in this game, but in all the times that I've done any sort of recording on my PC builds and I've played Fortnite, I'm usually pretty bad. Luckily in the last video that I made on Volt V2, I actually got a kill in that game, and I had a pretty good reaction to it, and surprisingly enough, here something pretty similar happens. So here I see a guy right here, about to pick him out with the silence pistol, knock him down, you know, just gotta take him out right then and there. And at the moment I'm like, okay, that's fantastic. I just gotta kill him Fortnite. This clip is definitely going into the benchmarking. Like I said, something unusual happens. Since the last PC build video that I got a kill in Fortnite in Volt V2, I've made some progress. Like that, I get picked. I'm like, okay, I could die here. Right, there's a little lag right there, but you just gotta stay calm, and right there, I just got 2 kills in one game. Knowing how bad I am at it, then you guys can definitely get as many kills as you want, because you're probably all way better than I am. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I got shortly killed after this, and let's go to the next game.
For $600, I am extremely impressed by the performance of Raptor. Similar to what I said at the very beginning of this video, the jump in performance from my other budget systems, especially when compared to my Electrobyte gaming PC, which is only $100 less, is incredible. For $600, you can play Fortnite, GTA 5, PUBG, Rainbow Six Siege, and Battlefield all at highest to max settings at 60 frames per second solid. So if you wanted to get into PC gaming with a solid gaming computer with no compromises in performance for the dollar, then get Raptor. Its i3-8100 and overclocked 1050 Ti for the value is undeniable. If you're one of those people who can't really decide on a price point for your next gaming PC, but you generally want to stay in the area of not spending too much but wanting to get the most for your money, then like I said, get Raptor. You'll be more than pleased, and not just in its gaming speeds. Thanks to its Team Group Delta RGB SSD, Raptor boots in seconds and is by far the fastest budget gaming PC I've used in the Windows operating system when it comes to quickly booting up Google Chrome for web browsing and downloading games from Steam, all while having literally 0 system freezes. However, there is one last thing I want to cover about Raptor that I've saved to the very end of this video. That being the streaming performance. I know a lot of you guys who are spending more on a gaming PC like this are also looking to stream on it, so I delivered the goods and I benchmarked Fortnite and PUBG using OBS through Twitch. Fortnite at the same ultra settings you saw on the benchmarks averaged roughly 32 frames per second while streaming, and on PUBG at the same high settings on the benchmarks averaged 37 frames per second on Twitch through OBS as well. Those scores may seem lackluster, but this is normal when using OBS on budget gaming PCs like Raptor, because streaming from the same computer you're playing the actual game on is heavily taxing, which is the reason why many streamers choose to buy dedicated streaming cards or just decide to stream from a separate computer entirely. However, take note that the game settings for Fortnite and PUBG were really high, those being ultra and high settings, so I guarantee you if you lower those settings down to medium or low settings, your average FPS while streaming will be considerably higher. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my $600 Raptor gaming PC build guide for 2018. If you enjoyed this video, then I invite you to press the like and subscribe button. I've got other awesome gaming PC build guide videos here at the top of the screen if you want to check those out too, because here on the Scattervolt YouTube channel, we're all about budget PC tech and gaming. As always, be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and all that, and this is the Scattervolt channel, signing out.